I was Kurzik, but that's just because the only friends I had playing were like, dude, I want to be like emo and vampire, and they're all dark and just cool. And I'm like, you're an idiot.
I love you, Bella. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Relics of Orr podcast. Relics of Orr episode number 46. My name is Ryan. I'll be your host. I'm incredibly out of sync right now. I am joined today by the likes of Tiger Feet with SecretAgentCat.com.
Hello.
And Shungaku from TyrionStories.wordpress.com.
Hello, hello.
And today, the topic of conversation is going to be the beta weekend event number 2. I'm looking all fancy right now. I don't do anything suspicious. We're doing beta weekend event number 2, and I guess stress test number 2. Did anybody even do that?
I actually did because I only got like 1 day in beta weekend too.
How's it work?
Yeah,
Aww.
see, I was on a vacation doing some whitewater rafting. You're all jealous. I can see it
I
on your
think
faces.
you win.
I did get to go fishing in northern New Mexico during beta weekend too, so.
Ah, yes. A lot of fires in this area, huh?
Actually, where I was, it wasn't too bad. I think we got smoke for like 2 hours 1 day.
Oh, man. Past week, all you got to do is take a drive anywhere in Colorado, and you'll see, it's like more out there. One does not simply walk into Colorado right now. Oh, I was going away from me on the video so that you wouldn't see me drinking coffee, and then it was Shungaku. So, how's it going, Tiger? What's up?
Good. Good.
So for the beta weekend event number 2, there were some changes. Oh, and there was one last thing that I definitely didn't mention, and that is that there is a release date finally.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first thing I did when I heard about it was release a long stream of profanity. Because for me personally, there couldn't be a worse time to release it because that's right before PAX, and my big thing this year is I'm going to PAX Prime. So you're all going to be playing Guild Wars 2, and I'm going to be trying to hobnob with artists.
Yep. Well, I woke up that morning. I was sleeping in because we had just gotten done with the whitewater rafting, and so I was like way out, and suddenly my brand new smartphone makes this loud noise that I'm not accustomed to. So I'm like, what the crap? So I wake up and I look at it and saw from ArenaNet, release date, and I proceeded to pee my pants.
Nice.
That must have been awkward.
Earlier than I expected. I honestly didn't expect it until like Christmas season.
I was expecting a week or two before before Thanksgiving, so that they could get in on the whole Black Friday thing.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently not. They're going for who cares about people going back to school? We're releasing our game.
Yes, exactly. So, the beta weekend event number 2 then, and I should also point out that if you pre-ordered and all that happiness, then you'll get to be able to play on the 25th of August instead. And I believe that lands on a Saturday? Is that right?
I think so. Or like late Friday.
Yeah.
Suppose we could check a calendar, but
Yeah, to hell with that crap. I'm already like multitasking. Hosting a show, switching the video feeds. See this? Woo-hoo. Okay, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but you'll love it in post-production. And so,
it's a Saturday. I checked the calendar.
I've lost track, man. Been on vacation, so I don't even know what day it is. What year is it? So beta weekend event number 2, guys. Some of the changes that were that happened between beta weekend event number 1 and 2 mostly happened in the trait system and the skill system, if I understand correctly. You guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting. When I first heard about it, I wasn't exactly pleased because I wanted, free form and pick whatever skills I wanted.
That had me pretty concerned when I heard about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
It worked out pretty well, amazingly enough, because by the time I logged into my level 23 character, and I was pretty much able to pick any of the utility skills that I wanted, and the only thing is, I think you get limited with tiers of elites once you get 30. But at 20, you can have pretty much your build, except for your elite.
How many elite tiers are there? Just the 2?
I only saw 2 on my engineer, but it could be different. I think it'll probably only be 2, though.
Okay.
I can't say I was too fussed about it because Well, my character was already level 25 or something, so I had access to most of the stuff that I wanted to use anyway on the Guardian. It was when I went to actually try out the Thief, and I was like, oh shit, this is fun. And then I didn't have access to all the stuff, and I was going, oh, well that sucks. But I mean, once the game releases, I'm going to be so stuck to the game anyway that like a couple days, and
Yeah.
who cares?
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of engineer, because that's the class that I've kind of picked up on. A number of the elites are rather underwhelming. I mean, from what I understand, they're a lot better than they used to be. But the first, I didn't get to play during the second beta weekend event, but I did play during the first. And really, there was only like one or two that I wanted, and actually, the one I ended up using was a Char elite anyway. So.
No.
Was that the Charzuka?
No, it was the Warband.
Oh.
Colin Warband.
Nice.
Do you know what tier that is in now? I'm afraid that when I
don't.
get to my elites, I won't be able to get it.
I just keep avoiding rolling Char because I'm so biased against them after Guild Wars 1, and they burned my homeland to the ground.
Yeah, once you play
I'm still
one,
bitter over that, 250 years later.
once you play one though, you'll kind of get over that because they are pretty fun. My first
Yeah.
attempt at it, I was doing a Napoleon Dynamite voice and something quite scripted.
Ah, yes. Night Elf raid plural.
Oh, you've heard of it, have you? This right here is the face of the other guy in that video, by the way. And this is not the
Hi,
face
everybody.
of Night Elf Raid Pro right here. So I wish you guys could see what I'm doing. Maybe I don't.
I can see what you're doing. You're just sitting there.
Yeah, well.
As far as I can tell, yes, you're right.
By the way,
Oh, doing it on your screen. I get it
We're
now.
we're not producing this in audio form only because this would be really annoying in just microphones. So, okay. So when you guys
going
were
on?
playing the beta weekend event number 2, what did you experience? Like, what did you do? What were your thoughts on it?
Jumping puzzles. My new favorite thing ever.
Very sweet.
Oh my
Jim.
gosh.
Do you have a particular favorite jumping puzzle?
Not yet. I'd like to be able to see all of them in all the zones before I pick a favorite.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember what.
We had
I
a
would say the one in the Norn zone with the ravens at the beginning, except that they always beat me up and chalk me off the ledge.
You're an engineer though, so take your rifle, use rocket shot.
Oh, at the
or-
time I was an elementalist, though.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then you can't really cheat that way.
No.
I think you can use ride the lightning for a few of them, but
I
have to get
do
lucky.
love the rocket jump, though.
oh,
Gets me everywhere.
Yep.
I remember Hunter was talking about how on his engineer he prefers the pistols, but I can't go without my rocket jump.
for everything except jumping puzzles, I have pistols equipped because they just do so much more damage. But jumping puzzles, it's just so easy to get through them with the jump shot that it's pretty much what I run with. It's number 5 skill, just boing, 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 boing.
Yes.
Works like a gummy bear.
I did a lot of great sword leap on the jumping puzzles with my Guardian.
Don't get me started. Press 4, then 3, or whatever it is, and then throw your keyboard down the stairs, and that's how you play Guardian. With great sword.
Oh, that's jacked. And also fairly accurate.
Although, didn't we discuss last show face rolling on your Naga?
Yes, yes. I don't remember. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice. So,
I don't know.
didn't
It seems to
actually
me
have a
whatever you're playing, if you can pick up a great sword, you're just going to be amazing, and it's going to be so much fun. I've got a warrior with a great sword that I've been just loving.
Mesmer lasers are hilariously amazing.
Oh, yes. I love everything about this game. It's all so good.
good thing we don't have to call it Guild Wars 2 Nukem Forever anymore. We actually have a date in mind. But obviously we need something to speculate on, so we've still created something to speculate on for later. So I'll talk about what I did in Beta Weekend event numero dos. I first off started off playing my Guardian some more, messing around with that. Ended up getting some of the more prestigious gear that you can get. I got it in Gandharan Fields. I ended up being half naked, and that was really cool, you know. +1 for fair treatment of all the genders and all that. -1 for doing that to a character that I designed to look just like me to begin with. So it's kind of like, it's not comfortable.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So next time I'll just remember to get like more spiffy armor before Gandharan Fields. Then once I pass Gandharan Fields, upgrade again. And
So the male heavy armor is got a little bit of midriff showing.
yeah, well, we talked about this a long time ago, and they were showing us what some of the armor types were like, and
Oh, yeah.
the model that they used, Tiger really enjoyed. If you remember that. So it didn't work really the same for my dude because he was scrawny and pale. I wouldn't say scrawny, but not huge.
Yeah.
So it was just a little bit more uncomfortable than
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
But it was still
Well-
fun. I mean, there's a lot of cool armor out there. A lot of people don't know
Yeah.
this. You build all that karma currency, and you can go around and you can buy different stuff in the different areas that you go to.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that every time because then you're going to get like one
Oh, was
piece.
that like the gladiator armor? It reminded me of the
Yes.
gladiator armor from.
Yeah, I think
Guild
it's
Wars
pretty much
awesome.
a
Yeah.
fancier. Guild
In
Wars
fact,
awesome.
I can.
I'm not letting that drop.
No, okay.
Never.
Guild Wars, the original series.
And then after playing the Guardian for a while, I ended up dinking around with Thief, Engineer, and Elementalist. I enjoyed them, and I thought when I did the Elementalist, I saw a lot of people singing the praises of this profession, and I thought, well, I got a little disenchanted with it during Guild Wars, but now I'll give it a shot again in Guild Wars 2, and it's super powerful. It's, there's a lot of options, so it's not like low skill cap or anything like that, which matters a lot
Yeah.
to me. But I've discovered that I'm not quite the caster that I used to be. I don't really enjoy casting the same. So, I mean, like, I could play it, and I probably will have one, but it wasn't one of my favorite experiences. Then I moved on.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, then I moved on to the Thief. I actually made 2 Thieves. One of them didn't have a comical name, but I ended up playing the one with the comical name more. Be with them, or if I could party up with them.
With the NPCs,
I'm not going to get credit for whatever happens.
go into PvP and fight him hand to hand, because they have a robust PvP mode that'll level you both up to the same level and put you both in the same quality of gear, and so the best man will win.
I highly doubt that they'll be able to establish the same kind of class balance in PvP the World of Warcraft has, because Ghostcrawler's a flippin' god.
Yes.
How do I respond to such a wrong statement?
You're not getting
guys are
it.
stealing my kill. Now
No,
this guy needs a res. Where's the healer?
I was actually quite pleasantly surprised with the Elementalist. I wasn't planning on giving it a shot at all because I really didn't care for the class in Guild Wars 1. I mean, I gave it a shot so many times, and I'm like, it's just wasn't for me, just standing around. But the moving and casting is what really makes it for me. I'm just running around slinging lightning, and a lightning daggers. Okay, 2 double daggers is my favorite on the Elementalist. And I just lightning whip and let's go. And
yeah, the lightning
you can
whip
tell
was
I enjoy it.
I saw the video where they showed the lightning whip, and I was thinking, oh, I
Mhm.
might actually roll one of those.
Yeah.
Although I'm still avoiding Necromancer, because the few minutes I spent on it, I'm pretty excited about that still.
There's a couple of pigs that are going crazy with Necromancer. Jim and Fend both are just running around with their minions, and I'm like,
Have you seen the
impossible.
giant chicken? I mention this every single time. The featherless chicken, the flesh golem.
Oh,
Have you seen that yet?
the pluck chicken.
oh,
Oh,
I haven't seen.
it's
Oh my
amazing.
goodness.
Just Guild Wars 2 Hub and Necrobator has just a quick video of it where it just
Oh, is
shows
there a
it
picture
standing
anywhere?
there.
I don't
can
really
put it
want
in
to
picture.
look
You
at
can
you.
probably just Google it. Guild Wars 2 Flesh Golem.
And then Tiger's she's on the prowl.
Man, she's looking for the giant chicken of doom. It's a doom
I
chicken.
totally
really.
am.
While she
It
hunts
doesn't
that
look like
down,
a Doom chicken.
we will also talk about the dungeons and catacombs that we did. Did anybody else get a chance to do that?
I managed to do that during the stress test.
Okay.
So I hit 30 right at the beginning of the stress test, and went and got a pug together. And after terribly trying to get in, it took a while because during the stress test, the instance servers were just very hard to get into because apparently everyone was making instances. So we
Is
finally
that
managed
it?
to get in. That is the yeah, that is the
That,
flesh
Okay.
golem.
that looks quite
See?
tasty.
Oh yeah,
A
no,
rich
I
history.
eat, I eat that. Yeah. But anyways, I
Yes.
got into yeah. So that thing's awesome because its base attack also cripples, and it's got a charge, and it's an elite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited. That was like my main minion in Guild Wars 1, so I'm glad it came back.
Needs
But
an
anyways,
attack called Inflict with Salmonella.
it leaves behind it the avian flu as it as it chases people, poisoning everyone in the area. They should do that. ArenaNet, avian flu on the Doom chicken. But anyways, in the dungeon, we finally got in, and I discovered that I was horribly undergeared, because I had only had one like 6 hour period during beta weekend 2 to go from like 23, and I got to like 29 during that period, but I didn't upgrade any of my gear. So when I got in there, I was missing trinkets. Most of my gear was like level 20 whites that I had just picked up off of things that I had killed and put on. And
I found that if you know what you're doing, if you've just got the base gear from like the merchant, it should get you pretty much most of the way there.
oh yeah, no, but yeah, that helps. The karma, getting the karma gear would be helpful, but I didn't have any of that. I didn't even think about that. I was just, I'm going into the dungeon because I'm level 30 now, so clearly, and I had the supply drop for the engineer is a pretty entertaining skill.
Yeah, what does that do now?
It drops a 3 turrets, randomized, I believe. I think it always drops a healing turret, but then it'll randomize between like a net turret, a rifle turret, and a flame turret for the other 2. And then it drops a whole bunch of health packs, which I still haven't figured out how to activate. I think you just walk up and click on them or something.
Yeah, like press your. I think it's F.
But the annoying thing was mobs in the dungeon one-hit my towers all the time. So I went in with a flame tower because that seemed to have the highest damage output of any of them, and they were just wrecking that thing. I would drop it within range, and the guy would turn around and just one-shot it. So I had to stop
Yeah.
using that, which was a little bit sad. My initial build was pistol, and then I had an elixir gun and elixir U, which gives me haste, so I can cast faster, and then flame turret. By the end, I was running with pistol still, but then I had like a grenade kit for throwing on as many conditions as possible, and then a rocket turret and a rifle turret, and that seemed to work pretty well.
I usually run the engineer with the rifle, of course, and then I usually use either a rifle turret and grenades, along with either an elixir or the third skill changes depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah. I think they buffed grenades, because grenades were really weak in beta weekend 1, and they seemed somewhat more effective in the stress test.
I just love throwing explosions everywhere. If you played with me in Rift, you'd know I played the Saboteur, and I'm like, explosives for
Nice.
everybody.
Yeah. Gotta love the explosions. And the
confetti.
conditions are nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
I think that conditions are going to be huge
Mhm.
in the dungeon speed clears when they start actually running. I think people will be looking specifically for a class, probably the thief.
The synergies you're going to get
vulnerability.
come from stacking your conditions. If you've got
Yeah.
everybody concentrating on stacking conditions, things just drop like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a pretty good run. We took us about an hour and a half to clear the story mode, which was a little bit slow. I spent a lot of time sitting down and throwing rocks.
Yes, that was my experience as well. You
How did
don't
you-
really expect walking in, because in most dungeons and other games, it's like when a person dies, that's a sign of things going terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Where in our dungeon, it was kind of like that person died, hope to get back soon to help us with what we're still in the process of
Yeah, that
accomplishing.
was a little bit zergy with the hitting the respawn and then just running back.
How did you guys handle Relena and Vassar? The Mesmer boss. Is.
Apparently they're bugged or something, so you can't pull them apart properly. So we just had them standing right next to each other, and we just killed Relena and then Bassar.
I know. We kept trying to knock them back, and they wouldn't knock back, and then we tried catching them in between the doors, and that was a whole mess. And it was always a headache whenever we tried to do them.
Yeah. We took them down pretty quickly, but yeah, we didn't even try and do the right
Separate
way.
them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
about you, Cole?
all I remember was throwing down blue stuff on top of everybody. I'd see somebody in trouble and just go. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just making sure that I don't die and doing my best to try and help other people not to die as well. So they were talking about mechanics, and I guess I still had a little bit of other MMO healer mentality where it was like, hey, I just stay back and make sure people are all right. But then once everybody was all topped up and looking great, oh, right, so I got to go in there and do something now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was an interesting thing. Our Guardian, I think he had run it before, or it was a Norn. I think they had run it before, or something. But they halfway a third of the way through the dungeon, they pretty much switched to full-on support, mainly because I was throwing rocks all the time, and they wanted me to be using actual skills, so they got me up from the down state fairly regularly. And what was interesting was how much the enemy focused on down players. Regularly, when a player would go down, they'd drop AoEs on top of the player. And I gotta see this because I was downed a lot, and I was like, oh, there's an AoE around me now. And so that prevents you from using your number 4 heal skill, and it also hurts anyone that comes in. So you actually comes in to rally you. So you have to have a fairly tough person coming in to do most of the rallying, and so the Guardian or Warrior works pretty well for that. I found. Although then there's also the knockbacks, and eventually I was down so often that one of the warriors in our group and with the Guardian started figuring out all these new ways to do rallying. So I'd be downed, and the boss would be doing knockbacks on me. So the Guardian would come in front, drop a bubble or a block, and then the warrior would come in behind and rally me back up.
I've done that.
So they had to figure out, because it was a line attack, and so I figured what I was actually doing was training them to be better players.
There you go. You did that to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, I mean that's really. I mean, not Guardians. Engineers apparently need more tuning according to ArenaNet. So underpowered. I'll use that as an excuse for now. Cough. Yeah.
I've been really enjoying Control. I guess that comes from because when I played WoW, I was a tank, and the Control analog kind of relates. And when I was doing the dungeons, I was playing a warrior, and freaking love the hammer. Just knocking back everything and knocking it down, and just it's like, oh, you think you're gonna get up and attack my buddies? I don't think so. I used a combination of the hammer and the physical skills, like the stomp where it throws everybody back, and I'm trying to remember what they were. It was the first beta weekend, so it was a while ago. I've slept since then.
Yeah, well, and they've changed a lot of the weapon skills too. Those have shifted around, so that it may be totally different now.
It could be. I might hate it now. Who knows?
I don't know. The hammer still looks pretty cool for knocking things down and slowing them and jumping around and such.
Yeah, I noticed I don't use it so much when I'm out and about in the world doing stuff on my own. But if I'm in a group and we're doing a dungeon, it's pretty much the hammer or the bow. If I'm, because I did the dungeon at level 25.
Oof,
so yeah, I was getting myself into
rough.
trouble. I was always needing a res or a rally.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys get a chance to do the catacombs?
Yeah.
I didn't get to do explorable. I only got to do the story mode.
There's maybe I'm referring to this with the wrong word. It's like a dungeon that's out in the real world by the font of Rand, and you go down in there and you would have to there was a lot of underwater stuff going on there. So you'd go down, you would open this
That's
coffin.
Flame Legion area, right?
There you go. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's the Flame Legion temple
Didn't do
or
that
Flame
one.
Temple. Yeah, it's an open world dungeon, so you can
That's
basically
cool.
get like 100 people raiding the thing. So it's might be
I
their
did
answer to raid.
something with spiders. There were a lot of spiders involved, and killing of egg sacs, and I don't remember where that was. It was somewhere up north along the wall in Ashford,
Hmm.
Plains of Ashford.
That's pretty close to where we were. But yeah, this thing was amazing because it was very puzzle-ish, where you would have to go attack this thing, take the sword off of it, and way later in all of this process, you're going to use that sword from this statue and you're going to put it in another statue's hands so that you can open up this fight. But anyway, most of it was underwater, like I said, and you would have to do these puzzles such as you would have to open a coffin and this thing would come out and you'd have to shoot it with a torch and then that would put the fire out over here and you're like, what the hell? And these other people are like,
the puzzles.
don't you get it? And I'm like, no.
It's like they're bringing Legend of Zelda into an MMO, and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's my favorite game of all time. If you know me at all, that's like I go crazy for Legend of Zelda stuff. And with the spider one, there were blocks on the ground, and you had to pick up rocks and put them on the blocks. So it's like to put down a pressure plate to open the door. It's like, this is classic Zelda. Oh my god!
Yeah, they've got some nice adventure game and puzzle game elements in their game, and which is a nice feature.
It's so refreshing to see all this cross pollination between the different genres all brought into one.
Well, man, this is excellent fodder. I did not see us actually having this much to discuss, so we might have to skip some stuff.
Oh no!
I'm going to jump to what is our understanding of endgame so far? Like, what do you think endgame's going to be? Because to me, it looks like what endgame really is for now is stuff that you missed, rolling new characters, and there will be stuff for the end of the game as well, but they're making it so that everything that exists in the world is not just there to level you to max and then you're going to go do a couple things every day, but more instead you're going back to do specific events that were happening, such as the catacombs, things like that.
Yeah.
Or not the catacombs, the Flame Legion. I don't know what the font of Rand.
I love the fact that even if you've out-leveled an area, you can go back and it's relevant because, like, I've had people come back that are level 30 helping me when I'm level 5, and they're more powerful, yes, but it's not ridiculous. I mean, you can go back and you can play these things and still have fun playing them. It's not, you're not.
Although I will say, I dropped an elite skill in Queensdale during an event against the Worm Queen. And that was slightly overpowered.
Did none survive?
The Worm Queen went down in about in 15 seconds or something. It was ridiculous. And so all these people were coming to kill the Worm Queen, and I had just dropped it to see what would happen. And the thing was dead, and all these people showed up, and I was like, sorry, guys. Guess I'll collect my gold reward.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the various level disparities are less pronounced when you get to higher levels, like between, say, level 50 and level 30, as opposed to level 30 and level 5.
Yeah.
Just because when you start off, things are usually really, really weak when you've got nothing. Whereas if you've had a few levels to get going.
I think most of the... I think everything up to level 30 is tuned to not having elite skills, and everything after 30 is tuned to having elite skills.
Yeah.
So I think most players, if they want challenge, are going to have to be doing 30-plus content.
But then again, your first dungeon is at level 30, so...
Yeah.
Honestly, Endgame, I think, is going to be redoing the dungeons with the explorable modes and going around and finding all the little noodly bits, like the real-world dungeons and the jumping puzzles.
Yeah. And I think there might be a few different things. I think I think Orr might be partially in the game, because I think Orr is designed around having a lot of elite events that require teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I think most of your content when you're actually in the 3 areas that make up Orr, or the shore of Orr and the city of Ara, are going to be almost like underworld, Domain of Anguish type elite zones, where you go in there and if you're by yourself, it's going to be exciting.
I'm very, very curious to see how they handle Zaitan, if he's going to be an open world thing or
He's a dungeon.
He is a. Oh, he's a dungeon.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
definitely in a dungeon. He's a 5-man. He's the Ara, I think. The predominance of Ara, I believe, is a 5-man dungeon.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember way long ago they mentioned that which which faction you chose, like the Vigil or the Priory or Whispers, would determine what you did with the dragon and whether or not you actually fought it. So,
yeah.
But I can't imagine they would make it so that you don't fight the dragon, because that's the big thing. I mean, no matter what you choose, I think you should.
Did you guys see the the release date announcement trailer?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the very end,
He's in there.
I think that was Zaitan, and you were shooting him with an airship cannons. Which I was having flashbacks to watching videos of people fighting.
I'm certain that's Zaitan.
Dragon.
Oh man, I can't wait to get a good look at him.
Yeah. So, I think that what you might see is the story mode part of the dungeon is not necessarily killing Zaitan, but it might be killing one of his generals to weaken him, and then you will have the branching modes of how to kill Zaitan.
Oh, look at you with your
So you'll choose.
badass insight. That's pretty sweet.
That's cool.
I use this sometimes. And it works. And then other times I use it and it's like I don't know what's going on. Like when I was running the dungeon itself and sitting there throwing rocks.
Exactly. Yeah, the only question I have about how all this is going to pan out is that going to work for people that are acclimated to MMOs as they stand right now? Like, are they going to know how to capitalize and have fun with this game? I'm going to estimate that yes, only because I think this is a very calculated effort. Like, okay, you look at Star Wars, The Old Republic, you look at Rift. All of these games kind of seemed to not understand what it was that was making every MMO popular to begin with, and then all of a sudden it would just flop after 2 months. Well, obviously people are maxing their level and then having nothing to do. I can't possibly see ArenaNet with all this investment and all this time and all this hype not knowing what they're doing with this. I can't give you specifics, and I can't say for absolutely certain that this isn't going to come back to bite them, but I would estimate that not.
I think it's really, really going to depend on how they handle the dungeon runs and getting the dungeon specific armor, because you have to realize people coming from World of Warcraft, etc., have been trained to always be chasing the next big shiny. There's always something over the horizon that you can't get. Whereas with Guild Wars, it was you reach level 20 and you've got max level gear, and all you're getting is visual upgrades, and you can go do all the content and get new skills. It's a paradigm shift, and I think it's going to be a little bit. You're going to have a bit of that for Guild Wars too. I mean, I've been telling myself, the point of the game isn't to get to the end and then start playing. The point of the game is to play the entire game, and I think you're going to have some people who might have problems with that.
Yeah, I ran into it a little bit when I was playing the Secret World beta. I started playing it, and I was not having any fun, and I was trying to figure out, and it has a really cool skill system. It's like the spiritual successor to Guild Wars 1's skill system. Pretty interesting. But, so that was compelling, but then the rest of the game, I was like, oh man, I'm being sent back to the same place for the 5th time, and all of a sudden I realized I was playing the game wrong, because I was playing it like WoW, where, you go to the quest hub, gather all the quests, and then go out and do them. And what you're really supposed to do in the Secret World is sort of explore it, get to know a specific area, and go through and do the story quests, and basically find how much information you want out of the area, and then move on to the next one. It's not necessarily a do all these quests until you're X level, because there's no true levels in the game. It's a little bit more freeform.
I want to do the quest roundup.
Yeah, that doesn't work well in the Secret World. In fact, the Secret World, I guess they were having a problem with that, or something during one of their testing phases, because they limit the number of quests you can have at any one time. So you can only go out and do like 6 missions at once, and that actually helped me finally get into my head how this game was actually supposed to be played.
Hmm. I think you've got that a little bit too with Guild Wars 2 because there are
Yeah.
no. I mean, you've got the personal story, and that's your breadcrumbs to go from area to area. But
Yeah.
then you're supposed to just do whatever you find out in the world
Yeah.
and fill in the hearts, and you can move on whenever you like.
Yeah. And speaking of filling in the hearts, I was rather impressed with the 100%ing an area, getting all of the skill points and the
Yeah, what
hearts
happens
and
when you
all
do
that.
that?
You get a massive XP bonus, as
Ooh.
well as several items. You usually get one mystic key,
Mm-hmm.
so you can unlock a mystic
Awesome.
chest. You'll usually get like a green weapon, which has green is better than blue, and that sort of thing. So it and you get tonics. I think I've gotten a few tonics from that, or
I've
that
heard that
mystic
tonics
chest
can
I
come
opened.
from the Mystic Chest.
Yeah, they do. That's where the tonics came from. I got a crate tonic, so if you want to move around as a snake person for a little
Very
while.
nice.
Although sadly they removed the bug where you could activate a kit, an engineer kit, and then do the tonic, and then still have all of the kit skills. So you could walk
Oh.
around with like a goat with a flamethrower.
Oh, that's a shame because that would be wonderful.
But we did find, were you there, Cole, when we turned into the jellyfish and actually went flying over the land as jellyfish?
Yes, yes. In fact, I think I have some video of that. In fact, if I can find it, I'll cut it in right here. And if I can't, then
Yeah.
I'm going to cut back to you, Shungaku.
Yeah, Gandharan Fields had some great stuff. They had the ability to turn into a jellyfish underwater and then apparently go out of water, which was hilarious looking. And then they had the that Quaggan skill point. Oh, that was hilarious. The Quaggan was smack talking
Oh,
with like
yeah.
Quaggan
Right.
politeness, and she was so funny. That
Is
was
that the one
great
that
voiceover.
wanted you to was trying to get mad?
Yeah, she was trying to Hulk out in order to
Yeah.
like show you how hardcore she was as like a Quaggan warrior. And so she hulks out and you fight her for the skill point. And then afterwards she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for fighting you and that." Although the first time I encountered it, she was smack talking me and then a great white shark showed up and I was like 9 levels below them and it did
Oh,
not end
no.
well. I
Dodge,
spent
dodge,
most of my
dodge.
time running. Yeah, there was a lot of dodging, shooting of nets, and then trying to get out of the water.
Yep.
A little bit like Jaws.
So for speculation, to speculate, when do you guys think you're actually going to hit level 80 for your first time? On what date? Because now you have a starting date to go off of.
Probably August 28th, 2013.
Jeez, oh, 2013. Okay.
It's gonna take
Ow.
me forever to level up. I've just been so busy.
Hmm. I don't know if SWOTOR's any indication of my obsessive compulsive leveling, although that was over Christmas break, which my work gives me like a week off for Christmas, which is amazing. So I played way too much SWOTOR during that time. I'll say 2 weeks after launch I'll have an 80.
Oh, Total
Shungaku,
Recall.
Nice.
Shungaku will be an 80.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm actually heavily counting on the fact that higher level characters can come back and play legitimately with the lower level characters to even have anybody to play with.
Yeah.
'Cause it takes me so long.
Yeah, I'm probably going to hit it in about 4 weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna go like that, and you know it. I remember you in Rift.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, can't talk leveling!
Yeah.
The question is will Guild Wars, because Guild Wars has 80 levels, it's about, I think they were saying an hour and 45 minutes per level after 15 or something.
Yeah, I take issue with that, man. I was blowing through them faster than that.
Yeah. So, well, I think you can blow through them faster than that.
Or I guess on average, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
You
going
find-
kind of slow
Interesting to
because
see.
I was too busy looking at everything. It's like, hey, look at these textures over here.
Exactly. Like,
That's what you do.
How
on
are
your
these
second
polygons
character.
arranged?
Your first character is just gotta wow it up and break on through. You know,
I can't
modern
help it, man.
MMO.
I don't know,
that's
man.
actually
Like,
good. Stop and smell the roses.
I think that way too in games. Like anybody that played Star Wars with me or any of those other games,
Yeah.
I burned through crap really fast.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when it was Guild Wars 2, I would start burning and be like, "Wow, I'm kicking a whole lot of ass," and then all of a sudden, that's pretty sweet. And I go walking over here, and my wife is worse than I am, so she's still like, come on, come on. I'm like, well, this is so sweet.
Oh, yeah, I beat my entire guild to 50 by about a week in SWOTOR, and I don't really want to do that anymore because I pretty much was like, well, I'm done with the game and there's no one here to play with, so okay.
See, that's again why it's so wonderful in Guild Wars 2. When you're max level and you're done, you can come
Yeah.
back and play with other people.
Yeah. Well, and there's all those non-level sort of events where, you've got the mini games. I am going to be playing a ton of Polymach. I've seen the
man.
little mini pet arena in Lion's Arch, and if that is not in at launch, I will be very sad.
Is that the ArenaNet?
The ArenaNet arena,
ArenaNet
the
arena?
little one, because they always have mini pets like floating in there and looking at
okay.
each other in the beta event. So it's got to be a mini pet arena.
So what are you guys planning on doing until release? And this is the last question before we roll to the end of the show because we are killing my hard drive.
I've actually got a big project I'm working on. If you've been following my blog at all, you'll know that I'm not talking about Guild Wars 2 at all. I'm putting up artwork, and my next project I'm doing a current or next gen reimagining new rendition of Naburu from the Ocarina of Time, the Stage of Spirit, the Lady in the Desert. I'm making her high poly, fully normal maps, textures. Gonna try and get that done in 2 months before PAX.
Isn't that planet that's supposed to run into us or something? Was it Ancient Aliens?
I don't
The
think so.
extraterrestrial influence.
You've clearly been watching way too much Game Breaker TV in there.
He does. He talks about Ancient Aliens.
Goodness.
And it's,
Now we're-
we all need to admit right now, that's our guilty pleasure, right?
I don't
I watch
actually
it.
watch Ancient Aliens.
So I'm just going to help Gary Gannon out right now and say, Netflix, go get Netflix or coupon, whatever. Go watch their show and figure out what their deal is. I don't know. But, go on a deal
Game
with
Breaker,
Netflix.
Netflix/Game Breaker TV or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now we're advertising for them. Great. Good work.
Yeah, well,
We
hey,
clearly
here's-
watch way too much of that. Everyone take a drink.
Sip it up. Tiger, what the hell? I had that in sync. You're supposed to oh, you're gonna see this in post production and say I missed out. Bad.
I probably here.
So I will be filling my time probably with with some non-gaming stuff because I can't get into any games right now. I have tried,
Yeah.
and I'm just bored stiff.
Yeah.
It's like you
So-
start something up and you're like, why isn't this Guild Wars 2?
Yeah, and what I'm probably going to do is just do the best I can to build up the library some more with the Guild Wars videos that I'm creating that will help people do quest missions and all that so they can get their Hall of Monuments filled. If anybody out there that's part of this community wants to take part in that, you are perfectly welcome to, especially when it comes to Prophecies. I hate that campaign so much.
Aw.
So I'm not doing the videos for Prophecies. I'm sorry. I know you guys love it, and that's why I'll do Factions and Nightfall for you.
Tears are flowing like waterfalls.
I'll do a desert scarab farm video because that's so useful now.
Yeah.
Where you send one necromancer out there, kill one scarab, and then try and minion your way through them. That was really useful back in the day. Not so much anymore.
That's been nerfed.
Yeah.
I'll take my 55 monk and we'll go do Underworld.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
There won't be any problems with that at all.
So what are you going to do with your time, Shogaku?
Well, what I do whenever I start thinking, oh, this game isn't Guild Wars 2, is I just load up another game. So I've been having a ton of fun with duty officers in Star Trek Online and building freeform characters and champions online. Secret World is out now, and I'm going to be playing that until it comes out. And then my guild from Guild Wars, which is like 3 people, and I have been playing a fair amount of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer because that
Nice.
is so much fun.
Speaking of that, Relics of Orr, I've just started a Google spreadsheet. Right now it only lists the names of people that are in the Guild Wars guild. You'll want to check that, people. It was on our Twitter feed, at Relics of Orr, all one word. And you can see if the name that's put on that list is what you want it to be for when Guild Wars 2 comes out and what character you'll be playing. As well, on top of that, if you're somebody who you're not sure if you're on that list yet, you'll want to check that as well and email us at, or you're going to email us at Relics of Orr. That's stupid. RelicsofOr@gmail.com. That's pretty important to do because we don't know if the guild cap is going to be 100 or not come release, and so we are at 80 right now. So
Yeah, they're discussing. I think they were saying something about using like influence or something to expand the guild cap, so that should be interesting. We'll see
I
what
hope
happens
so.
there. Hopefully they'll just give us like a 500 guild cap and be like, oh, go, be
Man, I
fruitful
hope.
and recruit.
Well, I would hope there'd be a big guild cap if there is any, because you
Yeah.
can be in multiple guilds.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's not like
exactly.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. It'll be easier for people to have like the mega guild that's like their primary community, and then like their friend guild and that
Mhm.
sort of thing. Because I don't necessarily want to get rid of the Malasari High Guard. We've had a fair amount of fun in Guild Wars 1.
yeah.
All right, so to finish off the show, I just want to talk about ways you can contact Relics of Orr and what we will be doing with ourselves, with our personage, in the future. As you know, our history goes back 2 years where we've been doing audio podcasts galore. That actually takes a lot of planning, and other than figuring out how the hell to do what we're doing today, once we got started, this is massively easier than what we were doing, and even that's going to take some time. So mostly, I think what we're going to intend to do is stuff in-game. And videos in-game, tutorials, even like skit crap with, say, Napoleon Dynamite's voice that some people...
Night Elf Raid Pro will return.
My wife can't stand the voice of Napoleon Dynamite, so she actually hasn't even seen that video yet. That thing has actually had more spread, though, more coverage than anything else we've done. It's pretty interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, go Google Night Elf Raid Pro if you haven't seen it. Unless you don't like the voice of John Hitter, in which case, or Napoleon Dynamite, in which case, that's like sticking a pencil on your ear. Not a good idea. So, right. So Relics of Orr is going to move their focus a little bit more to video and just creating random content. We used to be the high-quality audio, but I mean, now you've got a lot of podcasts out there doing that sort of thing, like Guild Wars Insider and
Tales
Game
of
Breaker
Tyria.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so it's kind of ridiculous for us to be doing that. We're kind of more guild-focused now. We want to be a community. If you guys can think of things that the Guild Wars 2 community needs, I mean, email us, let us know, and we'll give it a shot. I mean, all we want to do is create a community for the most part. And, let you look at our precious little faces like you have today. And we are also you can subscribe to us on YouTube. We have a channel. Relics of Orr is the username there. And we have also got some Guild Wars 2 videos posted up finally. We've got a ton of Guild Wars videos. But once Guild Wars 2 releases, you'll be seeing a lot more content out of that as well. To contact us, you can call us on the Relics of Orr line at 708-202-9262. Follow us on Twitter at Relics of Orr. Email us, relicsofore@gmail.com. And you can visit us at the website, relicsofore.com as well. I think I just botched something. relicsofore@gmail.com. No, I'm good. I'm good, right, guys?
You're fine.
You're good.
Okay, sweet. Beautiful. What else am I missing? I mean, we have a Steam community. We have a forum. You guys are perfectly welcome to come join us there.
There's
Facebook.
still Relics of Orr gear in the Zazzle store. I just picked up a
Yes.
T-shirt, so that if I
Awesome.
ever show up on this, when I show up again, I'll have an actual Relics of Orr symbol on my chest.
I need to buy one of those shirts as well. I actually did buy one, but it was actually for a competition that was sent off to Ghost Boy, a good listener to the show.
Oh,
Winner
yeah.
of a specific competition like a year ago.
I see him on the forums every once in a while.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's helped me with a lot of stuff. In fact, he's probably going to watch this and be like, you guys are nub sauce. I'm going to show you.
He's gonna be like, "Why aren't you guys using this software? It's
Yeah,
much
exactly.
easier."
So yeah, and also you'll be seeing most of our videos, if not all of them, on a website called guildwars2live.com. On that website, it's like just a compilation of videos about Guild Wars 2, and it's been
Guild
up
Wars
for
2
a very
Live's
long time.
awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
So this is
I've
shout
done
out to
some
Peter
reviews for that
Chan.
before.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Go check that out. Our 2 Guild Wars 2 videos are up. Guild Wars 1 videos are not up there, though, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, I guess we've nailed it.
That's it.
Oh wait, do that again, Tiger. We want to see that. Nice. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your hard work, determination, and sitting through this blistering heat.
Oh, it's been so rough here.
Oh yeah, you're all air conditioned with your fancy swag.
Here are the casualties.
Cat down.
Nice.
Cat down.